Okay, let's get going. I'm joined today with Mr. Tom Lamb. Tom is the CEO of Myriad Uranium. Myriad is a company that's advancing the Copper Mountain Uranium Project in Wyoming. We'll get a bit of an update on the summer drill campaign and how that's going. But the premise for the discussion today, and what I really wanted to talk about, have been the two M&A transactions that Myriad has announced in the last 5 weeks. One pertaining to the Red Basin Uranium Project in New Mexico, and one pertaining to the, I guess I'll call it the Breccia Pipe uranium claims in Arizona. Now, granted, these aren't the largest M&A transactions that have ever gone through, but I do think they've been largely under the radar. And they're certainly very interesting for me for two reasons. One, the methodology employed, and two, the outcome achieved. And what you've been able to do, Tom, has been essentially, with these transactions, you've been able to add to the project inventory in short order. You've been able to monetize those assets, but at the same time, you've managed to keep a toehold investment in both of these new properties, thus ensuring potential upside if development from an entirely different party goes well. Yeah. So these are the type of low risk, low capex projects which I really like seeing, and obviously in the case of Red Basin, I mean, that's been, when the sale was announced, that's been immediately accretive, many times over. So Tom, it's good. I know you've been really busy over the last few weeks, but I'm glad it's nice to chat with you again.
You too, Michael. Yeah, I'm really happy to see you. Yeah, and I'm glad you want to focus on these two transactions. We're very proud of them. We think they're really good for Myriad and Myriad shareholders. So we want everybody to understand them.
Yeah, and Tom, just before we go any further, two final things I have to say. Number one, over the course of this discussion, there will be some forward-looking statements made. Number two, anything that you hear over the course of this discussion should not be misconstrued as financial advice in any way. Just please put in the time to conduct your own due diligence. Okay, so with that said, Tom, thank you. Yeah, let's get back to it. Red Basin and then the Breccia Pipe projects. Just give me a bit of the background, like the thinking, how this came to be.
The background on Red Basin is very interesting from a management point of view here. We're a bit proud, I think, internally of being fast acting and sort of decisive when it comes to these opportunities. I think that this is something that can hold, larger companies back from being entrepreneurial, and it may not be their style in the first place. But we love being active, and we see an opportunity, we jump on it right away. That's what happened with Red Basin. Our chairman, Simon Clark, identified this opportunity to acquire this large project area in the Red Basin area of New Mexico. This is a basin that historically was drilled by some oil companies, in particular Gulf, but also others. We were able to acquire our Red Basin project for $525,000 in Canadian in cash and stock. We think that our counterparty on that was in a bit of a vulnerable position at that moment. They were switching focus. Uranium was slightly down, and we jumped on this opportunity. Red Basin had a historical indicated and inferred resource that was fairly high grade, probably ISR amenable, up to sort of 6.5 million pounds, and also a big vanadium credit, up to I think 1.64% vanadium. We jumped on this and acquired it as fast as we could, and when we realized there was a deal to be done, and we thought we were going to be able to generate a big return. We acquired it 14 months later, after some negotiation with two venture capital firms. We sold it to a new startup owned by those venture capital firms. I'll explain about them in a minute. We sold it to this group for over 6 times This is, say, on a cash on cash basis, 6 times what we'd paid for it 14 months earlier. It's exactly the kind of transaction we were hoping to do. So we sold it for 2.5 million US in cash, but we retained a 10% economic interest. This is a free carried interest through production. We do not have to put up any money going forward. And this group that bought us, called Subatomic, is led by Tim Chilleri. He was an analyst at Sachem Cove. Paul Goranson, who's well known, was with Energy Fuels and was president of Cameco previously, and is very well known in the uranium space, and is backed by 8VC and Overmatch. 8VC is a Peter Thiel, Joe Lonsdale, PayPal kind of vehicle, and Overmatch, I think they do a lot of advanced weapons tech, Austin-based. These two groups are as politically connected as you could possibly be. They're very well funded, and they're entering the fuel cycle technology space with a focus initially on New Mexico. So amazing partners. We've also created a strategic alliance with them. We will be delivering project ideas to them, and we'll probably keep the same structure, which is we keep a 10% free carried interest in ideas that we deliver to them. This provides nothing but upside to Myriad, and it really is a no cost to us, this transaction. We're very excited about it. That's the Red Basin transaction. I hope I've covered some points there, but we're delighted to be partnered with these guys. Yeah.
And I take it they're very committed to getting the project advanced, de-risking the project.
I believe so. You know, there's a big data package relating to this project, and I would be very surprised if they don't have access to all of that data, which gives them the ability to make a great leap forward, as it were. And then I'm sure they're going to, bring the resource current and, hopefully take it to production. However, let's see. But I believe that's their plan. That was their commitment to it.
Yeah, and it's a good team to have in the very, very least. Just the lines of communication open with.
Absolutely, they've got their finger on the pulse in a way that nobody else does. Tim Chilleri is I think one of the most switched on people in the uranium space globally, and of course Paul Goranson doesn't get more senior or more connected than that in the uranium space.
That's right. That's good for Red Basin. The even newer project or claims, I guess, have been the breccia pipe uranium claims. Walk me through that one. How was that all put together?
Again, very opportunistic. One of our landmen, who we engage with continually. In fact, one of the secrets with Myriad here in the background is we're very active with our network of landmen who we reward and we're allies and partners with. We want to find projects just like this, maybe where the claims have unexpectedly become available and it's time to jump on them. Live by the sword, die by the sword in this business. In terms of claims, we were notified that this cluster of breccia pipes was available, and we jumped on it instantly. So this is 23 breccia pipes in the Arizona Strip. That's in northern Arizona. That's right by Energy Fuels' Pinyon Plain mine. Pinyon Plain is thought to be America's highest grade and most profitable uranium project. It's a producing mine right now. And, we have to insert cautions here that are 43-101 cautions and other just sensible cautions. This may not, one of our breccia pipes called the Wate pipe, WATE, may or may not be a twin of Energy Fuels' Pinyon Plain mine, but we absolutely hope it is. Yeah. Just like Pinyon Plain, its initial resource is over 1 million pounds. Our average grade is 0.79. This is an equivalent grade, and it's historical, not current under 43-101. But the estimate was done in 2015. And Energy Fuels certified that certified it as a current resource right up until 5 years ago, I think. And Energy Fuels has included it in their list of projects, even as recently as February of this year. So this is it's a historical resource, but we think it's very robust. And again, insert 43-101 cautions. It's not current under 43-101.
Yeah.
However, the Pinyon Plain mine started out under similar conditions. An initial resource of between 1.5 million pounds, a high grade, just like ours, and then Pinyon Plain has. Sorry, we've got some dogs running around. Pinyon Plain mine has actually now in the last couple of years produced more uranium than its initial estimate, and at a grade of something like 3.5% uranium instead of just under 1%. So if we're able to do the same thing, that would be very exciting indeed. So that is, I think as people come to understand what we've done in Arizona, they're going to be very impressed. We have a fabulous optionality and blue sky there. We immediately, what we like to do, we want to offset risk, and we don't want to, where we can avoid incurring costs, we like to do that. So we've optioned the project, the cluster of breccia pipes, we've optioned it to Wedgemont Resources. It's a 3-year option. They get to acquire up to 75%, but then we have a back end of 25%, so we end up 50-50. So they have to pay us cash. They pay us all our cash. So this is the whole transaction, including the acquisition of the claims, no cost to Myriad. It's just all upside. And so they have to pay us some cash, shares, incur expenditures of $4 million in the project, and then we can back in by funding the next $5 million of expenditures. But at that point, we will already know that the project is a big winner. So yeah, that's the structure of the transaction.
Yeah, essentially zero capex devoted to these projects. The focus remains on the flagship Copper Mountain project.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
I guess if we could just finish with what are the latest developments and plans for the summer at Copper Mountain?
Copper Mountain, yeah, we're advancing it. We'll be drilling there very soon. I think we announced that drilling was likely to start in June. Stay tuned very shortly for an announcement that drills are turning, or at least the first drill to get on site is turning. So I can't tell you exactly when that's going to be because I'm not supposed to until I announce it to the world. But you're going to see that very shortly, I believe.
And this will be essentially the first drilling campaign since 2024, I guess.
Correct. In October, November 2024.
Yeah.
That was our phase 1 drilling campaign, which was very successful. I would say dramatically exceeded all our expectations. And this is our phase 2 campaign. It's going to start with known areas of mineralization. We're going to go to some exciting prospects where we know there's very strong prospectivity. And then we're going to branch out to some of the new areas that do not form part of historical resource or even historical exploration targets. And this is potentially going to dramatically increase the size and prospectivity of the project. So we're excited about that.
So both infill and step out drilling.
Yeah, so infill is going to come at the end. Yeah, so infill will come at the end of this phase 2. And hopefully we bring some of the historical resource up to current categories. And I hope that we exceed the grade and the volumes and everything relative to historical estimates.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be busy summer, so we'll pay attention to those press releases, and we'll do this again, Tom. We'll be in touch.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Thanks a lot. Thanks very much for the update.
All the best.